Hello, ANR. Welcome to the Klavis booth at the Superbooth exhibition in 2018. We're quite happy to show you what Klavis does, what's available from us, and also what's new for this year. Next, we move to the LogicXT. Maybe from us you have heard about the Logica Gator, which is the previous design in the Logic. This one is really the update of that product. We now have advanced functions, such as gate to trigger convention with possibility for the user to adjust. We have a digital sample and hold with a delay line, which can reach up to 5,000 points in memory to make very long delay or very fast and very precise delays. All the settings in this one can be stored, which was not the case with the previous version. Then we go to this product is finalized and should be available in a couple of months. Next we move to the Quadigy, which is our big new product, which is not totally finalized right now, but which still be available before the end of the year. It's a quad envelope generator where each envelope can be called and adjusted separately, but you can also select more than one at once, so that when you change the settings, they will be all changed simultaneously. You have presets. The envelope can be put in cycle. A nice feature is that you can adjust the settings visually very easily, because the display tells you whether you should go up or down to match the value, which is shown by the LED on the fader being lit when they correspond to the actual setting inside. And as you could see, we have a very nice and high resolution graphic display to show things like curves. In cycle mode, what we have is that the product is able to adapt automatically the overall length of an envelope so that it fits the cycle of an incoming clock all by itself, even when changing the tempo on the fly. And then we have a CV matrix, which allows you to have a number of sources pointing to absolute every parameter in every envelope simultaneously at once, meaning that in a very single preset you have almost 150 points of matrix which are stored. So you can store all the settings into the product because you have user memories. And what else? You have global mode where all four envelopes can be controlled at once, every fader controlling one of them independently in real time. This is quite useful, for example, for percussions. Next we move on to the third and last of the new products for this year, and that will be also available before the end of the year. The CalTrans is a calibrator transposer. So first you have a possibility to do calibration of up to 4 oscillators. Typically when you are using analog VCOs, they might not be perfectly in tune or calibrated. And also the last octaves at the top or the bottom might be perfectly in place. So this one is able to correct that limitation. When that is done, so for example, you connect the CV going to an oscillator, and then you connect a wave to the calibration input, and the product asks you which one are you doing. So I say calibrate number 3. The calibration process is now going on, and after a few seconds, when it's done, you just disconnect, and that's in and is stored inside forever. From now on, when you've done that for all of your 4 oscillators, you can just play with them. You select which one you will transpose, so I will say the second one. I can change the semitone and the octaves independently with the encoders, with the click encoders. But the nice thing is that I can also select more than one at once. Let's say I can transpose all these 3s at once by 3 octave up, and these 2 down there by 2 semitone down. For each, I can apply a quantizer. So I will say I want quantizer on number 3 and 4, and that's it, it's done. So from now on, I can see the blip confirming that it's done, and even if I select another one, I can still remember that these are activated. You have presets, small locations, L and S, load store. I say load number 3, store into number 4. And then added bonus is that by just holding a given section, you can and keep it in held, You can adjust separately a portamento time and a glissando time simultaneously, and that independently for each of the channels. Of course, these settings also go into the storage memory. So maybe you have heard of our star product, the Twin Waves, a dual oscillator which can be VCO or LFO independently for each side. It is based on an algorithm, so you choose which one you want to use to create a sound, and then you manipulate the parameter in order to tweak it to make something else. You can choose a lot of algorithm based on phase distortion, bit crushing, additive, ring mod, noise, filters, and all of that for a wide palette of sounds. And similarly, in LFO mode, you have a different range of configurations and another range of algorithms for other waves that can be generated, like some random vectors, Brownian, and cyclic things also with wave distortion and so on. In audio, you have quantizers with various scales, which I can show you here. And in case you are facing something you don't understand, you can at any time ask what it's about, because there's a help screen built in the product, which tells you exactly what you are facing. So no need to have a cheat sheet next to you. Besides, the other product which is available right now is the mix switch, which is the mashup of a mixer and a switcher, in which you have a pair of 2-to-1 mixers combined with a sequential switch. So by default, these are the two mixers. For each of them, you can change the whole mix into log, which real log, meaning even the potentiometers are logarithmic for dealing with audio, and the whole overall level is diminished so that there's no clipping. And then you can change the polarity independently and also switch off the channel. All of that clickless electronic control. Same for the second section. And then when you switch on the switcher, you bring some modulation, which in this case can be a CV or a clock. So for example, here I will use a sawtooth. So my sawtooth, as you could see, is running through the various sections according to the amplitude of the shape at a given point in time. I can also just, according to that, by changing the shape, you can see it plays backwards from last to first. And if I change the shape, of course, it will go forward from bottom to top. Similarly, we can use an incoming signal as a clock, in which case, with every cycle, we have a next selection. And then we can also have a random. It will take randomly inputs, never repeating the same twice in a row. Next mode is also about wave shape applied to, wave selection. But in this case, we only select on section B. The A is available as a mixer. Plenty of variation. The thing is fast enough to run at audio rate, so you can do wave folding, wave shaping, and all this kind of craziness about multiple waves brought in and adapted, modified, amplitude, and so on. But it can also be a simple 4-step sequencer or any kind of a voltage processor, because the inputs also without connection bring you a fixed voltage that you can adapt. That's all for now. Thank you for coming to us, and thanks A&R for covering Klavis products.